If you're planning a home renovation in the UK and you think that your budget feels, well, about right, we need to talk. Renovation budgets don't usually explode overnight, but yours might be starting to quietly spiral. And I know that because over the years, I've added close to £1 million in value across my own renovation projects. And when you're managing builds at that level, you start to see patterns unfold. The same pressure points, the same blind spots, the same budget creep. So if you're a first-time renovator, then this is where you have to pay attention. Here's where the renovation budgets quietly spiral. First, we're looking at provisional sums. If your quote says allowance, provisional, or TBC, that is not a fixed number. That in itself is a placeholder, and placeholders move. Now, if there are multiple allowances in your quote, then that is your early warning sign. Second is pricing before detail actually exists. This one is huge. An early estimate is given before structural calculations are finalized, before drainage is exposed, before insulation upgrades are confirmed. And you know what? Everyone feels fine. But then the detailed drawings land and the reality is priced. And suddenly your renovation cost increases, not because anyone was dishonest, but because the original number was based on incomplete information. Detail reduces risk. Optimism increases it. Third, specification creep. And I say this as someone who loves a good finish in their home. You don't consciously decide to add 30k, but you upgrade the doors, then the glazing, and then the kitchen cabinetry. And each individual upgrade, well, feels manageable. But when it's layered together, that is where renovation budgets stretch beyond your comfort zone. Now, I've seen homeowners go from excited to financially anxious in a matter of weeks, and that's because of small, stacked decisions. Fourth is time. Time is one of the biggest hidden renovation costs in the UK. If a project runs 4 weeks longer than planned, that is 4 weeks of labour, and labour is expensive. Now, when you've overseen projects adding serious value, you quickly realise one thing: control the timeline, or it controls your budget. And finally, emotional decision-making mid-build. Yes, you're tired, you're living in dust, you just want it done. So you say yes to everything. And that's when costs accelerate. So what should you do? Well, before signing, you should go through your builder's quote and circle every provisional sum, every allowance, and every TBC item, and ask them what would cause this to increase? What's the worst case realistic number? And can this be fixed before we start? Because once you're mid-build, your leverage drops. Renovating isn't about fear, it's about foresight. And you'll learn that protecting margins is just as important as creating design.